everyone, it's Lindey. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of Frequently Asked Fridays. If you're brand new to my YouTube channel, I have numerous videos talking all about selling merchandise online by primarily using the eBay site. But this video series in particular is solely dedicated to answering all of your questions and filling these videos with as much information as possible. By far, the best part of this video series is my partnership with Wholesale Ninjas, because every single episode, Wholesale Ninjas gives away a 100 count liquidation lot to one of my viewers that asks a question to be featured each episode. So Wholesale Ninjas is by far my favorite supplier of inventory for my eBay store. I find their quality control is always on point. Their supply is always really consistent. Deliveries are really fast, which means when I place an order, the merchandise gets to me a lot faster than other companies that I've sourced with. And I've found that whenever I get health and beauty from them, which is my favorite kind of merchandise to sell, you know, cosmetics, personal care, things like that, they're the only place that I've found where I can get that kind of merchandise at the best possible quality control. It's seriously like I'm getting wholesale quality product for a liquidation price. I also wanted to take just a really quick minute to tell you guys about the Customer Appreciation Month that Wholesale Ninjas is doing for the entire month of September, because it's a good one. When they told me that they were doing this for all of their customers, I thought that that was just absolutely incredible. I've never seen any other company do something like this. So here's what's happening. Throughout the entire month of September, there's free shipping on all personal care and cosmetics lots. Yeah, all personal care and cosmetics lots. Free shipping, no limits. They're also giving away Apple products to customers that purchase this month. So every single Friday, they are giving away an Apple iPad to any customer that purchases up through noon on Friday. And then at random times throughout the month, they're going to be giving away things like Apple AirPods, Apple Watches. And then, if that all wasn't enough, at the very end of the month, they're going to do a drawing and 3 customers are going to get a $200 off coupon code to be applied to their next purchase. And before you guys ask, no, I'm not eligible to win. Nah, it's all right, I'll be okay. But it would be awesome to hear that one of my viewers won. That would just be amazing. And to make matters even better, I still have my coupon code. The code is Lindey25, and it gets you $25 off of anything on the Wholesale Ninjas website. As usual, I'll make sure to link my favorite lots on their site down in the video description below. Thank you again to Wholesale Ninjas for partnering with me and sponsoring this video series. Now let's move on to the questions that came in from the last episode. But I should probably do this now instead of putting it off, because whenever I have some bad news, I never like to talk about it, and I wait till the last possible minute, but waiting till the end of the video is probably not a good idea. So as a lot of you may know by now, I am starting a new business venture and opening up a storefront, and that is going to be taking a lot of my time for the next few months, especially because we're coming up on 4th quarter. I'm hoping to have the store open before Halloween, and so that means I have to bust my butt and get things ready. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I have to put Frequently Asked Friday episodes on hold just for a little bit. So normally this Frequently Asked Friday video series is posted every other Friday. However, this is going to have to be the last one, likely until the end of the year. Hopefully I'll be able to resume them in January, but I know myself and I know what kind of time constraints I'm under. And if I put way too much pressure on myself to do too many different things, it's going to end up badly, and I'm going to go into a downward spiral and just be angry all the time. So to alleviate some of the stress that I have on myself, and the fact that these videos are so regimented and I have to film them in such a short window to get them uploaded in time, I'm deciding to put this video series on the back burner at least until the start of next year. So it's only gonna be a few months. I'm still gonna upload videos fairly regularly to my YouTube channel. It just won't be this video series in particular because I can't really film these videos very far ahead. So I appreciate all of your support in everything that I do. And I know that you guys are probably gonna be disappointed that I'm not gonna do any of these videos for a little bit, because I know if I don't do these videos, you guys don't win free lots, but I appreciate your understanding of this entire situation. That being said, since this is gonna be the last episode for a while, let's make it good, because then at the end, we're gonna find out who our 27th winner is. Maxine F asks, thanks Lindey, this was very helpful. How do we change our settings to have payment received within 2 days instead of 4 days on offers accepted? I can't find it on eBay anymore. Well, Maxine, I hate to be the bearer of even more bad news, but as far as I'm concerned, you can't change that. I believe that the only thing that eBay allows you to control regarding the time it takes for someone to pay something is you can switch to have an unpaid item case switched on as soon as 2 days, I believe, if someone hasn't paid, but you cannot change the length of time that somebody has to pay for an item after an offer is accepted. eBay gets to dictate those terms. And that's what happens when you're selling on someone else's platform. There are some policies and things that you just cannot control. So if a buyer sends an offer, or if you send an offer and it's accepted, the buyer just has 4 days to pay before an unpaid item case can be opened, which you can open it as soon as 2 days after that, which means if you sell an item through best offer, it could be a minimum of 6 days until the unpaid item case can even be opened for you to try to force payment. Yeah, I know. However, if I'm wrong, and you know where it is, you watching, please put down in the comments where exactly we can find this, because as far as I'm concerned, the 4 days to pay policy is something that eBay has just always have, and we as sellers cannot make any changes to that policy. Josh Howe asks, question, how do you get eBay buyers to look at your Mercari store and Mercari buyers to look at your eBay store? Do you put thank you cards and packages with links to each? So this is a really, really good question, and I've seen it kind of floating around here and there, so I'm glad that you asked it in time for this video, because it's kind of sort of against policies. So I know eBay for sure does not want you advertising other platforms to eBay buyers. I don't know exactly how Mercari feels, but I would guess that they feel the exact same way. Because here's the thing, eBay wants to promote sales on eBay. Mercari wants to promote sales on Mercari. Why should either platform be okay with you telling a customer to go buy from somewhere else? I've seen a lot of people say things like, oh, I put a card in my order that tells them that they can find me on Mercari and Poshmark and all these places. They can find me on my .com website. And well, that's likely okay, because it's highly unlikely that eBay would find out about that unless the buyer contacted eBay and said, hey, did you know that this seller is advertising for me to buy from them on their own website? I don't know how eBay would know, but technically it's against policy. So if you're wanting customers to know that they can find you on multiple platforms, the safest thing to do is advertising off of the platforms and making it known that you are available to shop from in multiple areas. For instance, if you start an Instagram account or a Facebook page and you advertise on those social media platforms that you sell on eBay and Mercari and Poshmark and wherever else it is that you sell, there's nothing that eBay or Mercari can do about it, because you are actually trying to drive traffic to their platforms. You're not advertising the people that are already on those platforms to go somewhere else. Does that make sense? So if I'm your customer, if I'm finding you on Facebook and then I'm going to eBay to buy, eBay's not going to be upset about that. But if I'm an eBay customer and I buy from you on eBay and then I get a little card in the mail that says, oh, you sell on Mercari too, and your prices are better on Mercari, now you've just basically stolen a customer that was an eBay customer and sent them to another platform, so that now that other platform gets all of those fees, because now I'm going to buy on Mercari as opposed to eBay, which is where I would always do my shopping. Hopefully that makes sense, but that's why these policies exist. So if you're really wanting to advertise to your customers that you sell on multiple platforms, I would suggest doing some sort of a Facebook page or an Instagram account where you can advertise to customers that aren't already on those platforms. Becky HH asks, hello, since you have stopped free shipping, will that affect your seller status? So that's a really, really good question. So I just recently told you guys that I'm done with doing free shipping. And while my sales really didn't take a hit when I switched from free shipping to charge shipping, I know that there is a lot of concern surrounding how that affects your top rated seller status and your stats. And I'm happy to tell you that doing free shipping shipping does not affect that at all. The only free anything that's affected in your seller status is when you do free returns. So you can be top rated or top rated plus and not do any free shipping to your customers at all. However, if you're a top rated seller and you want to qualify for top rated plus, then you have to offer free returns. You don't have to do free shipping also, but you do have to do free returns. And I also get that question, you know, what's the difference between top rated and top rated plus? The biggest difference is that top rated plus, you get a 10% final value fee credit back on your invoice every month. So if you paid, say, $500 in final value fees, you get 10% of that back when you're a top rated plus, which means you'd get a $50 credit on your invoice every month. Now, I like to do that. I prefer to be top rated plus to get that credit because most of the time that means that that 10% final value fee credit is actually paying for my eBay store, which basically means I get my eBay store for free every month. But if you do free returns, you do not have to also do free shipping. If you switch to a charge shipping model, it has zero effect on your seller status. Sharon A asks, when do you decide that something is never going to sell and what do you do with it? Thanks. So this is another question that I get pretty frequently. It's that age-old question of how long do you wait for something to sell before you give up? Because years ago, actually one of my best performing videos on my YouTube channel where I talked about the 11 mistakes in 11 years of reselling, which is an old, super cringy video, but people liked it for some reason, and it's kind of what blew up my YouTube channel a little bit. But in that video, I talked about one of the mistakes that I made was quitting way too soon. Like I would list something for 2 weeks, nobody would buy it, and then I would just say, oh, forget it, I quit, nobody wants it. But I realized that that was a mistake because some items just take a little bit longer to sell. Now, how long they're going to take to sell? I don't know. That's up to you as a seller to decide. So me personally, how long do I wait for something to sell? Really just until I get tired of looking at it or I need the space. Because I sell a lot of health and beauty. I dabble in a little bit of general merchandise on my eBay store, but it's mostly cosmetics, personal care, beauty merchandise, skin care, that kind of stuff. Always sells eventually. You just have to wait for your time in line basically because it's retail merchandise that there are likely competing sellers, and so you have to kind of sometimes, you know, wait for other sellers to sell out for it to be your turn to sell it. Or maybe it's a more obscure product that you're waiting for people to come and find because there's only so many customers for it. But for that reason, I can't really have a window. There might be a thing of skin cream that I sell regularly every week, and then out of nowhere, it might take me 3 months to sell it. And then there are some things I've had listed for a year or more. So for me, it comes down to space. Because when you are waiting for merchandise to sell, it's basically taking up real estate in your inventory storage. So if that item is larger, I'm going to want to move it out faster. Versus if it's just a very, very small thing like cosmetics, I can put numerous ones in a box and stick it on a shelf and just wait for them to sell. So that's the biggest determining factor of whether or not I just want to push something out, is if I need the space. And if I look at the item and just say to myself, wow, that's been listed for a really long time, it needs to go. Then that's when I'll pull it off and decide it's just never gonna sell and I try to move it somewhere else. So one of my favorite ways to move merchandise that's just not selling online is to just do a big blowout yard sale. So now usually these yard sales are not making me a huge profit. It's usually just a cash cow. It's just for cash flow purposes. Usually my yard sales are just wildly popular because I'm sticking with a certain price point. I'm saying everything is $2, everything is $1, just kind of depending on the kind of merchandise I have and how much of it I need to move out. If I have a garage full of stuff that I have just got to get rid of because I have pallets coming, I'll say everything is $1, and then maybe the last hour I'll just yell out to everybody, everything is 2 for $1, come buy my stuff. And it always works like a charm. People buy stuff that they don't even need just because they can't resist how darn cheap it is, which is good for me because that means cash flow. Because if something is not selling online, that's capital that's just tied up and you can't use that capital to buy more inventory. So when it comes down to it, just getting anything for that item is good because then you're getting some money in and you can go buy something else to try to flip that instead. So anytime I would have one of these pop-up yard sales and I would just put out tables of just a whole bunch of stuff, I would make anywhere from, you know, $1,000 all the way up to, I think I did a little over $3,000 in one day, just moving out stuff that I couldn't sell online. If you didn't want to host a big yard sale, or if you didn't feel like you had enough stuff to host a yard sale, you could also just throw everything in a box and just sell the box to someone on Facebook Marketplace, even if it's not all the same item. Just say box of merchandise, take a picture of it and say $10 or $20, come and get it. That's how I would prefer to move that kind of stuff locally. Kathy Klein asks, hi Lindey. Hi Kathy. I'm just starting and I just listened to a video where you were talking about sell similar and relisting. Is there a difference when you do a listing? Do you list an item from scratch, or can you do a sell one like this? Is there a difference? So I cannot remember the last time I started a listing from scratch. And when I say from scratch, I mean you just click the eBay create a listing button and it's just a complete blank canvas and you have to build it from the ground up. If I am doing listing, or if Angie is doing listing, we always do sell similar or sell one like this. The only difference between the two is when you are hitting sell similar, you're using your own item, which means when you click sell similar on your own listing, the listing that you're clicking sell similar on is duplicated entirely. We're talking same title, same picture, same description, same price, same shipping, same everything. Now, when you click sell one like this, that means that you're going off of another seller's listing and there's only certain things that are saved. For instance, the photos are blank, the description is blank, and that's kind of it, I think. So I always also refer to it as piggybacking. I've heard other sellers use this term too. You're piggybacking off of another seller's listing. So that means that the title stays the same, the eBay category, all of the item specifics. Oh yeah, you have to pick your own price, but the shipping is the same as the other seller. At least most of the shipping information is the same. You might have to do your own weight, but the shipping type is selected. I think the bulk of the shipping is the same, but you have to go in and you have to add the weight and do free or charge shipping. But I think if the previous seller did first class, it would automatically default to first class for you. But I kind of like the way that eBay does that, because when you piggyback off of another seller's listing, all of the things that I would want to change, I have to change anyway because eBay doesn't save it when they duplicate the listing. But if you're doing sell similar on your own listings, it's like you're getting a fully duplicated listing of that exact same item again, which is really helpful if you are listing items in your eBay store that are very, very similar. Like when I was selling jeans, I loved it because everything was identical. If I wanted to keep the same price points, if I wanted to keep the same shipping, if all I needed to do was, change a size in the title and swap out pictures and then just change the size in the description, I was able to list jeans so fast. But if I was doing sell one like this off of someone else's listing, it would have taken me longer. So my advice is if you're listing a whole bunch of similar items in your eBay store, I would do sell similar of your own listings. That way you have a lot of the same information just duplicated in a fresh listing. But if you're doing a lot of different items, I would highly suggest doing sell one like this off of a similar seller's listing. Gimp Girl Gifts and Thrift says, hey Lindey, hello. I had a customer that returned a wrong item to me. After dealing with the situation, I was left with this wrong item. I sold it. Is that unethical? You sold it? Someone sent you a wrong item and you took advantage and you sold it. How do you sleep at night? I don't even want to answer this. How do you sleep at night? No, I'm totally kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not, no shame. I probably would have done the same thing. I'm not even gonna lie. This actually prompts a story time, but first let me answer the question, is that unethical? I don't think so. Unless the customer requested that you send it back. Even if they did request that you send it back, I would ask them to pay me to ship it back to them. I'm not going to take the money out of my own pocket to ship the wrong item back to them. If they want the item back, they're going to have to pay for it. And if they refuse, the item is mine now. It's not my fault that they sent the wrong item to me. So I'm pretty sure I've told this story before. So if you're a longtime viewer of my channel, you've probably heard me tell this story before, but this reminds me of something that happened to me and it was so incredibly frustrating and I just did not understand why the buyer did this. So I sold, I think it was like a fit band. Like it might have been a Fitbit. It was so long ago, I don't even remember, but it was some sort of a Bluetooth band. I sold it. And I got a customer complaint with a return request saying that they could not pair it. It was a wrist thing you were supposed to be able to pair, and the guy couldn't get it to pair, so he said that it was a defective item and he wanted to send it back. And so of course, when you open an item not as described or an item defective, eBay is going to let them send it back regardless of whether or not you agree as the seller. So I got the box back. And the first thing I noticed about the box was that it was really, really heavy. And this was in the midst of this trend where people were basically sending rocks back to sellers instead of the item that they were supposed to return. I remember that was this huge thing. People were talking about rocks and bricks being sent back to eBay and Amazon sellers. And so I thought that I was a victim of this scam. So I got all ready to open up this package because I knew darn well just by holding it that what I sent the person was not in this box. I open it up, and to my surprise, the item that I sold them was in the box, but also there was this really heavy duty, fancy, I think it was like a Samsung Fit watch. Like this expensive, like $200 watch that went along with it. And there was a note inside the box that says, "I can't get these to pair. Can you pair them?" Yeah. So this customer was so trusting that he took it upon himself to use that return label to send me the item that he bought from me with a $200 watch to ask me to pair them together. Again, I say, yeah. So in that instance, I had no idea what to do. I'm over here like, what is he expecting me to do with this? Why did he send me this? Of course, these aren't going to pair. What am I supposed to do? I called eBay. eBay was kind of scratching their head a little bit like, I don't know what to tell you to do. I mean, you got your watch back. That's all that you were supposed to get. And I'm kind of like, well, what am I supposed to do with this expensive watch that he sent me? They honestly didn't know what to tell me either. They're kind of like, I don't know. If he asked for it back, I guess send it back. But here was the thing. This was like the perfect ethical conundrum. Do I just keep this expensive watch and sell it and profit off of it because this guy was trusting enough to send it to me? Or do I do the right thing, tell the guy I can't pair them together and send it back and ask him to pay me for a shipping label?
I guarantee you I would have kept the darn thing.
My husband eavesdropping. He would have kept the watch. Can't believe I married a man that would have kept the watch. So what did I do? I ended up sending an eBay message to the guy, told him that they would not pair, and I said, unfortunately, if you want me to send you your watch back, I'm going to need you to pay me for the shipping label. And at the time, there was no eBay managed payments, there was only PayPal. And if memory serves, we basically agreed that I would send him the watch back, and I just printed a shipping label through PayPal. And then I just did a partial refund in PayPal less the cost of the shipping label. So if, he paid me $40 and I was going to refund him $40, I just took the $8 or whatever it was for priority shipping to ship his expensive watch back to him, and I just refunded him the difference. But yeah, that was a very, very interesting situation to have handled. But I mean, if they sent you the wrong item and they didn't ask for it back, I don't see anything wrong with selling it and profiting off of it, especially if you lost some money during the original sale and return. BBest8 says, "Hi Lindey, hello. Love the fun videos and attitude. Thank you so much. Do you like and use the free USPS bags and boxes, or do you prefer to buy your own poly mailer boxes and bags? Thanks." Absolutely, I love free. Free, free, free. It's my second favorite four-letter F word. Stop listening in on me. I can't stand when my husband's in the kitchen listening to me talk. I will use free United States Postal Service shipping supplies as often as I can, because boxes and poly bags can get really expensive. Why not use the free supplies? But this is where I say, do not abuse it. So the only free supplies that you can get from the United States Postal Service are for priority shipping. So this means that you cannot use a priority shipping product and basically cover it with a bag or paper and ship it using another shipping method. Like you can't take a small flat rate box and cover it with a poly bag and ship it first class. It's the sellers that do things like that that are going to ruin it for everybody. Because here's the thing, they know if they send out a whole bunch of free supplies, they know if the amount that's paid in priority shipping is wildly different than the supplies that they give out. And if they suspect or find out that people are just freely using priority supplies and they're not actually paying for priority shipping service, it's going to ruin it for everyone and we're not going to get the free supplies anymore. So please, 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 if you are getting free shipping supplies from the United States Postal Service and they say priority on them, please pay for priority shipping service. Don't be that person that contributes to ruining it for everybody, because these free United States priority boxes and envelopes and tape and labels, all of these things, they save sellers like you and me a lot of money. And frankly, we'll all be really pissed at you if you ruin the party. Okay, hopefully I say your name right. Is it Leon Tabak? Hopefully I said it right. Hi, love your videos. Thank you so much. I wanted to see what you thought about volume discounting an item that you have a lot of versus putting a lot together of 2 or 3 items or more of the same item. So if I have 50 of the same lip glosses, should I put them in lots of 2 or 3 or just provide volume discounting? So I would say that this is going to depend on the value of one single item. So for instance, if you look up price comps of these lip glosses and you find that one lip gloss has a sold comp of $5 in free shipping, I don't think that it's worth it to just sell a single and then do the volume discount so that people can buy multiples. Because if people just buy one, you're almost gonna lose money after you print the shipping label and pay the fees depending on how much you actually paid for the lip gloss. So in that circumstance, I would do both. I would do lots of, say, 3, and then I would do a volume discount of people that wanted to buy multiple lots of 3. Because when you have 50 of something, there's a lot of stuff to move. So you could do lots of 4, you could do lots of 5. I would also try to figure out how many you can ship for the same ounces. So for instance, if you're going to have to pay for a 4-ounce shipping label to ship 1 lip gloss, can you ship 2 lip glosses and not pay more than 4 ounces? Can you ship 3 lip glosses for a 4-ounce label? And I would build lots based on that. And then I would also do a volume discount pricing for the multiple quantities, because again, if you have 50 of something, you're gonna have multiple lots. You're not just gonna have 1 or 2, you're going to have more like 8, 9, or 10. So I would still offer a volume discount if someone wants to buy multiple lots. And then how many items you put in a lot, and if you should just do, a single with the volume discount, also depends on how much space the item takes up and how fast you wanna move out the inventory. Like I tell you guys all the time, I'm a turn and burn kind of business model. I get the merchandise in, I want to get it out. So if I have 50 of something, I wanna do everything I can to move it out as fast as possible. So I'm probably going to do 8 lots of 5. So I'm gonna say, 5 lip glosses for $20, and I'm going to do 10% off if you wanna buy more, because I wanna move it out as fast as possible. Versus if you have the space and you're not so worried about it, then you might have the time to wait to sell 1 at a time and just do a quantity of 50 and allow someone to pick how many they want at what volume discount price. Trixie's Bag of Tricks asks, do you ship a lot internationally? If so, do you run into a lot of problems with items not reaching your customer? So I probably do 4 to 6 international transactions a month, and I really don't have any problems. I'm trying to remember if there has been a time when a buyer didn't get their package, but I don't think so. Most of the times the items that I ship internationally go through the eBay Global Shipping Program, which is really nice because if there is a package that is lost or if an item arrives damaged to an international buyer, eBay takes care of the refund and doesn't take it out of the seller's pocket. Whereas if you ship internationally on your own and you do not go through the eBay Global Shipping Program, you would be responsible for refunding the buyer if the package did not arrive. But in my experience, I really haven't had, I don't even think, one issue with a package just going missing. Veronica H asks, why do sellers under managed payments have fees calculated on the total paid by the buyer, including sales tax? Good question. I can understand fees on the price plus shipping, but why pay fees on sales tax collected by eBay, which is not coming to me at all, when everything I was charged via PayPal, the fees that I had to pay did not include the fee of the buyer's paid sales tax. So I understand your frustration, and like you, I don't think it's exactly fair. However, I prefer to side with sellers versus siding with eBay, but for this, I am gonna kind of side with eBay just a little bit, and let me tell you why. The fact that eBay is now collecting sales tax on behalf of the sellers and then also remitting it to the states that require an internet sales tax now without the seller having to worry about doing that is kind of a big deal, and I think eBay deserves a little bit of extra money in the final value fee to compensate them for doing that. Now, this is my opinion, don't come for me, but I don't think a lot of sellers understand the gravity of the situation that we were looking down the barrel of when it came to this internet sales tax thing. Would you want to go state by state and have to pay sales tax to every state that requires it now? That would take a lot of time. You would have to file and pay sales tax in dozens of states. That costs time, that costs energy, that's added stress. And sellers that are just simply sole proprietors that are just selling a little bit here and there, that's a lot of extra added work, a lot more research. And eBay is basically saying, nah, it's okay, you guys, we got this. It's not your fault that this is a thing, we'll take care of it. And so for that reason, I don't mind paying, an extra 10 cents on my final value fee, for another, $1.26 that eBay collected for sales tax. That doesn't so much bother me because I know that if eBay wasn't doing that, it would make my life a heck of a lot harder. Now, you may disagree, I might be wrong on a couple of parts, so let me tell you this to alleviate that just a little bit. So when I talked in my quitting free shipping video, I told you guys that something else that I liked about charge shipping as opposed to free shipping was the fact that when eBay charges shipping to the buyer, they're actually charging the buyer the retail shipping rate, and then we as sellers are paying the discounted eBay commercial rate. So when you charge shipping to the buyer, you're already getting overage, because if eBay is charging the buyer, say $5.40 for a shipping label, but then as sellers, we only have to pay $4.80, we're already looking at an overage there that helps compensate our fees. And so for that reason alone, I don't mind eBay also charging me a little bit more in final value fees on the cost of the sales tax that they collect, because now I'm already getting a little bit more overage when I'm charging shipping to the buyer because eBay is charging them the retail rate and they're charging me the commercial rate, which means I get to keep a little bit more of that money. But they're also taking a lot of work out of my bookkeeping by remitting sales tax to other states so that I don't have to. So while I know in theory it sounds really frustrating, it sounds like eBay's just doing another cash grab and they're just charging extra final value fees on a dollar amount that you don't even see. But I feel like if you look a little bit deeper, you'll find that it's not really worth getting super upset about. Amy Kairos asks, how do you become a top-rated seller? What are the requirements? Your videos are so clear and you explain things so well. Thank you. Thank you so much, Amy. So I actually have an entire video where I talk about the requirements and the differences between top rated and top rated plus. I'll make sure to link it down in the video description for you. But essentially, in order to become a top rated seller, not top rated plus, just regular top rated, as long as they didn't change the requirements, you need to have at least 100 transactions. I think it's $1,000 in sales, and you have to be active on the platform for at least 90 days. I think those are the main requirements. 100 transactions, $1,000 in sales, and 90 days on the platform. And then I know that there's other criteria, like I think you have to have above a certain percentage of feedback, maybe. I'm not sure, it's been a bit, but I explain all of it in that video. BootyFan38 asks, hi Lindey. Hello, BootyFan. Hi Lindey, been binge watching your vids and learning a ton. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. My question this week is, do you use social media sites to advertise your store? Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Tumblr, and are there any other than the main ones that you recommend? Also, do you feel that they actually help, or does main traffic from the sites work just fine? So I don't do a lot of advertising on social media. My YouTube channel is probably my biggest form of advertising. You know, anytime I do an unboxing video, you guys know that my eBay store is linked in the video description. And a lot of the times after I do an unboxing video, I will sell a few of those items. So I know that you guys are purchasing from my store. Thank you so much for all of your support. I would also post things on Instagram if I needed to move something out or if I was running a big sale. But during the year 2021 so far, I have been taking kind of a social media break. I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but I have not been on Instagram at all. It's been almost a year since I've posted on Instagram. I kind of did that for my mental health. I just felt like this year I needed a break from being on social media too much. I've been regularly uploading to YouTube, but I've really avoided Instagram and Facebook like the plague. And that's just a personal choice that I made for myself and my own mental health. But I really like that you can run things like Facebook ads or Pinterest promotions or Instagram ads. I really like that you can do that. And I feel like it did make a difference. However, if we're talking about a site like eBay or Amazon or Poshmark or Mercari, at this point, there's already a lot of buyers on those platforms. So I don't really feel like advertising off of those platforms and driving traffic to those platforms is completely necessary. I mean, you can if you want to, but is it necessary? I don't think so. Classic Rock Lover asks, hey Lindey, I've asked this question on several reseller channels and no one has ever responded. So I hope you can help. Well, I'm sure gonna try. Hopefully nobody's answered your question because nobody knows the answer. We'll see if I do. In my store, I offer multi-item discounts in several store categories. 10% off of 2, 15% off of 3, etc. Can a buyer mix and match items from different categories and receive the discount, assuming that they all have multi-item discount offered? Or do they only get the discount if they buy multiple items within the same store category? So could they buy 2 lipsticks and 1 mascara and get the discount, or only 3 lipsticks to get the discount? I feel that this would be important to my listing and marketing strategy. So your question leaves me with questions, because there's a difference between doing a volume discount on a listing versus doing a volume discount throughout your entire store and running a promotion. So if we're talking about doing a volume discount just in the listing, then it only applies to that one item. You know, for instance, going back when we were talking about doing a volume discount of all of these lip glosses. So if you actually in the lip gloss listing and you are saying if you buy 2, you get 10% off. If you buy 3, you get 15% off. If you buy 4 or more, you get 20% off. That is just a discount applied to that item only. Versus if you go into your promotions tab of your eBay Seller Hub and you are running a promotion store-wide or for a particular category, and then you're doing, you know, buy 2, get 10% off, buy 3, get 15% off. And when you do that, you are the one that actually says what all it applies to. You can say that that volume discount promotion applies to your entire store. You can say whether or not you want it to just apply to certain store categories like cosmetics, or if you only want it to apply to shoes or to clothing. You as a seller get to say what all it applies to. So let's use a couple of examples. Let's say this same lip gloss. You have volume pricing turned on in the listing, and let's say that it's buy 2, get 10% off, but then you're also running a store-wide promotion of buy 2, get 1 free. Someone can combine those promotions. Someone can get an extra 10% off of 2 or an extra 15% off of 3 and still get that third item free. They can combine the promotions. So whatever you tell the promotion to do, that's what it's going to do. If you want it to apply store-wide, it can be anything in your store gets that discount. But if we're talking about the volume pricing in the one listing, it only applies to that one item. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully I answered the question in a way that helps you plan for your marketing and listing strategy. All right, you guys, it's about that time. Are you ready to find out who our 27th winner is? Drum roll, please. The winner, chosen by random comment selection, is Steve Burton. Congratulations, Steve. I've already replied to your comment. Just get with me and I will make sure that you get your free lot from Wholesale Ninjas. Steve asks, I've been learning a lot from you. Thank you so much, Steve. I'm happy to help. Do you find it better to have more variety or to have higher quantities? Another really good question, because you guys know I love multi-quantity listings. The reason why I love multi-quantity listings is because you just make the listing once and then you can keep selling the same item over and over and over again until it's out of stock. Versus if you have a bunch of unique one-of-a-kind items and then after it sells, you have to create a brand new listing of something else in its place. Otherwise, the inventory in your store dwindles and you can't sell as much. So Steve, I think that it's a really good idea to have a healthy mix of both. Now, there are some sellers that have eBay stores with maybe 5 or 10 listings in it, and they just have hundreds of each of those listings, and they might do pretty well. However, you really have to know the sell-through rate of your item in order to make it a sustainable business. You can't just pick certain items at random, get an entire pallet of them, list it on eBay, and expect the money to just come rolling in. That requires a lot of research and a lot of knowledge and a lot of capital all going in on one product. So I think having a healthy mix of a variety coupled with a few listings that have a really high quantity, I think that it's a really good thing to have, because on the days where maybe the high multi-quantity listings really aren't selling, you're selling other things to kind of sustain you. And then vice versa. You always have, so many of a certain item selling. For instance, I had like 100 of this tube of mascara, and it was kind of slow going at first. I was selling like one every few days. And then it started coming, to the point where I was selling 2 to 3 a day, because it's like the more that listing sold, the more powerful it got in the eBay algorithm, and it just started flying off the shelf. You can't really do that with an item that doesn't have a multi-quantity if you only have 1 or 2 and there's a variety of them. But the reason why I'm saying this is because that one listing that was starting to just sell and have this domino effect, it just kept selling over and over and over again because I had so many of them, those sales would cause these items over here to sell as well. Because remember what I always say about the eBay algorithm, eBay loves activity. eBay loves active sellers, and eBay especially loves the active sellers that are making them money. So if you have a really powerful listing where you are selling dozens of items a week of this one item, the eBay algorithm is likely to start promoting your other items to try to keep getting more money off of you in final value fees. So if you have some really powerful listings with a lot of sales history and a really high quantity, it's going to overall help the other listings in your store. I also think it's a really good idea to have a lot of variety in your store, because if you sink a bunch of time and money into one particular item, or 2 items or 3 items, if there are days that go by where sellers just don't want to buy those products, that means you're not getting any sales, and that's when these sales over here can sustain you. So I am always for having a healthy mix of things. I always want to have a healthy mix of variety versus volume, high ticket items versus low ticket items. I like to have a healthy mixture of all of it. Okay, you guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I don't have a date for the next episode of Frequently Asked Fridays. It's likely to be sometime in January 2022, but I will definitely let you guys know as soon as I expect to post a new video so you guys can start submitting your questions again. I also want to thank you guys for all of the support after I announced that I'll be opening a storefront. It literally brought me to tears how supportive you guys are, and I am so excited to talk to you more about that and share my journey with that. Don't forget about the September Reseller Appreciation Month that Wholesale Ninjas is doing right now. Remember, it's free shipping on all personal care and cosmetics. They're also giving away Apple products to customers this month. It's really amazing. I'll link their website down in the video description below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up before you leave. I greatly appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Ring that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you with my next video. Bye-bye.